Okay, so now I'm doing the full playthrough of collecting all the information and finding everything, choosing between all the hidden weapons and stuff. Which honestly, I tried to make it so that like the weapons you get just by going to the objectives were more than strong enough. And really the other secret weapons, they're really just preference. Like there's a combat shotgun, there's a health shot, and there's an assault rifle, which aren't like the strongest, most amazing weapons. Oh, the health shot's pretty good though. So this says Geo Plus briefing. Data retrieval. Something went very wrong in our competitor's laboratory. Get in there before they send one of their own. Access the head terminal, then get out. And then it gives you the bullets. Additional information gives you extra score. They recently acquired a demonic artifact, so make it back to the elevator by any means. And I was just trying to get a sense of access the head terminal, then get out, make it back to the elevator by any means. They had recently acquired a demonic artifact. I mean, you're playing Doom, so you know there's going to be demons. However, I wanted this little quick briefing to have a sense of you're a mercenary. You're going into like uncharted territory. You don't know what you're going to deal with. You just know that it's going to be dangerous. And you don't want to spend too much time in there. You just want to get out. You want to survive. You're just here to collect information. And get paid because you're a mercenary. Oop. So nothing happens if you try to activate the switch before the game ends. So we have this here. We have a combat shotgun. And since these are okay, so since this is in the classic AI mode, the classic AI spawning mode, I used the AI spawners because I felt like they gave a good amount of pressure. I tested them out and modified their settings the way I needed to find what I thought was a good amount of pressure. And since this is classic, if you go through the game, or if you go through the level before going to get the flag from the head terminal, then when you clear enemies out from a module, from like a little room, if you clear enemies out from a room, then you can focus on grabbing and reading all the information. So that, I was imagining those as like flash drives, like you pull it out and you can stick it in your own machine. So I had these. I tried to make it obvious that you can shoot these. First I was just going to add the glow sticks, and I was like, what if they just think that's a silly feature? So I added the little streak of blood. And I was like, man, they don't have just like little drops of blood. This is like the least amount of blood that you can have dripping. And it's already a lot. And this is one of my favorite things right here. So it's a wet floor sign. So of course you shoot that and it opens up the pipe and more blood comes down. And you put out the fires using the blood coming out of the pipes. So that's a good sign, right? And so if you come into this room before you go get the flag, there's actually a lockdown. Okay, so here you can pick up the hell shot and get another piece of information. Oh, I should be showing that I should be showing my score. You see, I have 4,459 score, but these guys only give like 27 per kill, right? Like, oh, that's the hell shot, right? Right, so I probably shouldn't have quite as many points as I do, right? So I'll try to show this. So I've got 4,500. Say you collect this. You know, go ahead and pause and read it if you want to, but whatever. I'm just showing off the level design. And so now, I've got 6,500. So you can see that collecting the information does actually modify the score. It gives you an extra 2,000. And these are also, now this one is like the first one you can pick up. Well, it's like, I mean, you pick them up in whatever order you want. When you pick up this one, it explains like why you're getting information, why you're getting like logs from like these drones. And so I really wanted to set up some puzzles and stuff, but these aren't really puzzles, but at least they're interesting, like fun little mechanics. There's not a lot of moving parts to work with. I'm sure if I was, if I gave it, I don't know, but I wanted this barrel to get moved. I wanted the whole barrel to like get blown over there, like, but that didn't happen. So I thought this would suffice. And I really wanted these little obstacles. And they're not just for you to dodge, and they do, I feel like they are supposed to add tension, especially if you've picked up a haste from one of the soda machines, which I added just because, you know, a little quirky thing for the soda factory, but also I felt like it fit the overall Doom theme of, you know, just running around and shooting stuff and destroying stuff and just being overall like fucking savage. So I felt that the haste fit. I mean, I felt that shooting the soda machines, the vending machines, to get a haste wasn't too quirky, because you're still, you know, you're not like pressing a button on the soda machines. You're like, you know, just destroying them. Blah! It's totally like a Doom kind of thing. And I didn't want to have like the same like obstacle in every room. Because I didn't want to just have like a gas leak in every single room. It'd be like the obstacle, right? So I tried to mix it up. You know, I tried to add in some fire, tried to add in some of the radiation barrels. There are still enemies around. And since, you know, not everybody's gonna know like that this gore nest is here, so I imagine like when people are playing through it the first couple of times, you know, if they like it and stuff, that they're not gonna know this is here. So what's gonna happen is, since this activates a survival event until you destroy the gore nest, so stronger and stronger enemies are gonna be spawning. Stronger and stronger enemies are going to be spawning until you figure out where the nest is. And I try to make it sort of obvious. You know, it's on the compass and it shows up on the map. You know, point of interest shows up on the map. Oh shit. See, I almost died right there. So it's like, it seems like it's easy. That's the thing, it seems like it's easy because there's health packs everywhere and there's ammo packs everywhere, but it's the enemies can knock your health to zero so quickly. But I guess like in the campaign you can be playing with kind of low health the whole time, probably because of like health drops and like little creatures like imps and stuff. Those probably keep your health like sort of up so you can take a lot of damage while your health is still kind of low. But just how fast like they chopped my health down, I felt like I got an okay balance where, like, you know, as long as you're playing well, it feels like the game's kind of easy because you're like, wow, my health is still so high, you know, I got nothing to worry about. But you know, you walk into the wrong room after, you know, jumping through a damaging obstacle, or you mess up on one step, you accidentally slip and press the wrong direction. And it's game over before you know it. So there's also an assault rifle up here. I know I'm not going to use the assault rifle, so I like the plasma rifle and the health shot. But for people who do happen to like the assault rifle, it's up there. Now I didn't add the modifications to the guns because I felt like it gave more to the realism, more to the, well, not to the realism, but it felt more like it made more sense for like the mercenary not to have these obstacles. I mean, not to have these modifications. And like you can see how it's way easier to explore. Oh, you will see. Okay, so that, I'm guessing that's probably a leftover, this Mantigus is definitely a leftover from the survival event, from activating, well, just by walking into the room and having the gore nest come to life. So by triggering the lockdown, by entering the room. So, yeah, I really just wanted to add to, I just want to make this level more fun. And I felt like, you know, in so many levels, you're just, oh, well, whatever. I just felt like having to constantly dodge stuff it's kind of like the enemies are, you know, they throw like fireballs at you and they shoot bullets at you and you're always trying to dodge that. So now, you know, you're walking around and you're trying to dodge the barrels, you're trying to dodge the gas leaks. And then if enemies appear at the same time, which that's more of a problem later. Oh, shit. And getting the Gauss cannon loaded. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Pro, right? Oh my gosh. So when you're not speedrunning it, like the faster you play through the level, the easier it'll be. Like I've done this before, so you can easily make it to the level. You can, not easily, but you can make it to the level collecting everything, but it's not easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. Like, what did I get taken out by though? However, just running through the level as quickly as you can, you know, getting a really, really low score, that's easy. But, you know, if you want to be like the badass mercenary and like collect as much information and get paid as well as possible, then, of course, that's going to be a little more difficult. Alright, so I'm just going to speed this up real quick. Get back to where it was before. Did I forget to type this piece of lore right here? Did I grab this one earlier? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so I'm just going to redo this real quick.
Initiated.
So I wanted to add the hardcore metal music from the campaign, but trying to choose the music, trying to pick the campaign music, it gives you like 3 random songs when you choose a song. So you can choose out of like 3 songs from like UIC, or like 3 songs from like factory type songs, but when you choose one of those 3, each of those 3 has its own like each of those 3 has its own like music to randomize between. Each of those 3 songs also has like another 3 songs. and you don't get to choose like which of those songs you hear. And so for some reason it was always giving me like every single time I tried to play through, it was giving me like the least exciting song out of all of them. So I was just like, you know, never mind, I'll just not use that. And if you use the classic music, the classic music, as you can hear, it just plays the one classic song, so you know exactly what you're getting. So as long as you make sure to clear the enemies out, you not only have enough time to collect the information, but you should have enough time to read it too. And I just forgot to collect the key card. I'll get it on the way back. Pro aim. As you can see, I'm obviously like MLG. Oh, and there's a fucking helmet. So this is where hopefully you can do some fun stuff. Shit. Not through there though. So if you kind of don't even really have to fight them, because that lightning should do some damage on its own, right? So if you like make them follow you up here and shit, then they're already taking extra damage from running through the lightning. So this is the most health you'll ever get at once in the game. And that's because sometimes when coming through this spot, the game will give you some really tough enemies, like worse than Hell Knights. And okay. With the cut out. And I could have controlled it. I could have selected. I could have been more controlling over the selection, like of demons. I could have hand-picked or hand-placed like every single enemy. Oh, like, there we go. But depending on how long you take, the game gives you different enemies on its own. And so I figured that there was a good balance of time. Like I really do like how the AI spawner did it when I tested it out. So there's no reason to have to like be a control freak about it. But if I wanted to get more specific things, like if I wanted to have an enemy hiding here, waiting in ambush to pop out at you, or if I want to have an enemy here hiding in ambush to pop out at you, or if there's like specific enemies that I wanted in here, just to say like, you know, Like maybe I wanted some possessed workers, a possessed scientist to be in here, just to show like, just to show that, you know, those are the type of people you would have found in here before they turn into monsters or demons. I could have done that. But that's not exactly what I was going for. So I definitely noticed some improvements I can make. You know, I did test it and I looked through, but the thing is, like, you get like a creative vision. I don't know how to say it, where you know, you just play it through it so many times that it's hard to notice like what improvements I can make. Like what more can I add to this? Because it looks so familiar. And so another thing I'm predicting will happen. Oh shit. Is that people will run straight to the main objective. You know, they don't know the key cards exist. And so what's gonna happen is they're gonna run straight to the head terminal. This is what I think is going to happen, because it's on the, you know, I've marked it on the compass and stuff. So they're going to run straight to the head terminal, and they're going to get the flag, and if they survive, they're going to activate the survival event. And then what's going to happen is, right now, even though I'm heading back, like I knew to collect the key cards ahead of time, but what I'm imagining is people won't know to collect those key cards ahead of time. Oh, I forgot to collect the red key card actually. Oops. That's a problem. So kind of like this, people are gonna go, because you can't open up that last door. Oh, I should have showed what happens. Can I? Oh, yeah, I'll show it. Am I good enough? Because this is gonna make some tougher enemies to kill. Because the longer you take, it's on survival, so the longer you take, the stronger enemies are gonna show up. So if you don't have all the key cards, you have like the person who hired you. She tells you, "Oh no, you're trapped. You need 3 key cards." You see, there's more and more enemies spawning. So luckily I know where all of them are. And they do get marked on the compass. So the point of interest gets marked on the compass up there at the top of the screen. So you know where all 3 of them are. But what happens is And I tested it like that. I tested it without collecting any key cards. You know, go to the head terminal, then head back, hit this switch, and it does get pretty hard. And so I'm imagining most people are going to have to deal with that. And anybody who wants a high score, since it's a survival event, you know, and it's an escape survival event, so it keeps going until you, oh shit. It keeps going until you hit the button in the elevator. So you can get as high of a score as you want. Oh no. You can honestly keep fighting and get as high of a score as you want until you die. And the more information you collect, automatically the higher score you're going to get. Every bit of information, every like lore data pad you collect gives you 2,000 extra score. Getting the main objective, the flag, gives you 5,000 extra score. And glory killing actually gives you less score, because I felt like that was a good way to force people to focus on getting better at aiming, at shooting the gun. So all in all, I think for my first ever my first ever mostly put together completed project, my first thing ever, like, you know, tying it off and finishing it off and putting it out into the world, I think it went pretty well. And I think the more I do this, the better I'm going to get at it, right? And I'll be able to come up with more complex, like little puzzle type things, and more complex like environment hazards, and maybe in the future I will start putting enemies down and controlling the waves better. Oh, another reason I couldn't just put enemies down, I can just throw them down anywhere, is because I did want that survival. Once you collect that red flag, you know, which is like the data from the head terminal, and once you download that data and you defeat those Hell Knights, I mean not those Hell Knights, once you defeat those the super demons, I forgot what they're called, the red guys, actually it's on here, the Barons. Once you kill those 2 Barons and it activates the survival event, I wanted that to be like, you know, it's never gonna stop, it is survival, like they are now coming after you. So in order to have that happen, I couldn't just throw enemies down anywhere, because that would, like, the difficulty spike if I had like certain enemies somewhere and you're dealing with the survival. Like if you had stayed a little longer, you're trying to get your score up, you don't know where the key cards are yet, you know, you're just trying to figure everything out, and then boom, you know, there's an enemy that's been there the whole time plus the survival enemy. It's like, I felt like that would just be like balancing the difficulty in this scenario was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. At first I actually had it a lot harder, and it was possible, but it was definitely a struggle. So if you were there longer than like 10 minutes, like I could do it in 15 minutes on the harder difficulty, but it was definitely like a fight. And I don't know, I just felt like since I knew where everything was already, that it wasn't so bad for me, and that'd be even worse for other people playing it because they're not going to know where stuff is, and so it's going to take them a lot longer, and they're going to have to deal with much tougher enemies. So I had to tone it down a little, with foresight on that. But anyway, those are my snap maps. Hopefully they looked fun, colorful, and creative, and interesting, and not just like some boring. I don't know. I just hope they looked like fun to play. Um, anyway, yeah. So that's that. Oh, shoot.